Hi guys, my name is Kenneth. So you can call me Ken. My first job in the UK was I was like a field chef. I work in a shopping mall, and my God, it was fun at first. It was nice, but at the time, it was like I was being used because because I was very fast at first. I was doing like multiple kgs, and the other people just do like a kg a day. And at the end of the week, we get paid the same salary. So that's why I left, because I was being used to do more job. So, but the first job at first was very nice. It was chill, I had fun, met new people. But as time goes on, I was like being used. So that's it.
So what do you do now?
Right now, I work from home. I'm in cybersecurity, so I work from home, and I love my job. So I pick and choose the shift, and yeah, that's it.
So what's your advice for those who are coming to the UK from Africa?
Just take it slow. There's no too rush to get a job. Just first you need to know you have to pick a job that suits what you do. That's in like you have to like work in a fun environment. So pick what you love to do. That's my advice. Don't just rush to do any job. You see, just pick what you like to do, what you feel is your passion. Then work on that aspect.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Hello, what's your name?
Maggie Star.
Okay, your first job in the UK, how was it like?
It was alright. I worked as a warehouse operative in Next in Doncaster, and it was a nice environment. It was tricky because I didn't agree with some of the managers and things like that, but majority of it I felt welcomed and okay to work there.
Okay, so what's your advice for those who are planning to go into warehouse job in the UK?
Honestly, it's a really good job and you get good pay and they treat you well. There's also help for mental health and things like this as well. So
Okay, so what do you do currently?
I do admin work in the office.
Okay, so compared to the warehouse job, what would you say is the difference?
The pay.
The pay. Hello, what's your name? Okay, tell me about your first job in the UK and the experience.
So my first job was actually a teaching assistant at a nursery in Elland, and it's been a great job, something I've got a compassion towards and something I want to take forward in the future.
Okay, so would you say it's a nice job? Just tell me more about the experience.
My experience has been great working with children, and as an individual it's made me realise a lot more about children and about their development and how they grow.
So what's your advice for those who are planning to move into that role?
If you're moving into that role, please don't look at the money side of it. It's more about what your heart wants you to do and what you love to do, as it's a great job, and if you love it, go for it. But if it's about the money side, it's not something you want to do, as it's about making those children, seeing them smile. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Akoma.
Where are you from?
Malawi.
Can you please tell me your first job in the UK and how was the experience?
First job was working in JD Sports. I was just a sales assistant, so I got to do the textiles. I did all the footwear. It was really fun. Really fun. I got to experience. It was my first ever job. It was very sociable. It's the first time I really kind of got to gain new skills and learn why keeping certain standards is really good, and the difference between like lower end shops and higher end shops as well. So that was my first ever experience.
Would you say it was difficult or was that easy?
No, it's quite a simple job as well, especially as a first job. It was quite simple, quite entertaining, sociable. Yeah, it's quite simple.
Okay, in terms of the reward, what do you think?
So obviously they provided with discounts and stuff like that for obviously the staff, but I think it was one of those where like the hard. It wasn't one of the places where the harder you work, the more you get. It was just kind of like your day-to-day 9 to 5.
Right. So what's your advice for those who are coming from Malawi to to work in the UK or to study, or just give me the advice for international students generally, or those who are planning to migrate to the UK?
So I think the best advice I can give anyone is, number one, you've got to be flexible, and the second biggest advice is have no expectation. Why is because when you have an expectation and that expectation hasn't been met, you'll be disappointed, and you'll think that you'll start blaming the job, you start blaming the role, whatever it is. whenever you go to something, have no expectation, apply yourself, make sure you learn it, make sure you become a student in that aspect of your work, and then what will happen is you'll start to learn how to grow into that role, and whatever role there is that you can progress into, and the skills that you might pick up in that stage to progress into your next role. So make sure that you're flexible and having no expectations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem.
Hello, what's your name?
My name's Lara.
So tell me about your first job.
My first job was in a cafe with a very horrible boss.
So tell me more about that.
Well, I came home crying every single day for like a year, but I think it shaped me in like the way I work now.
So what would be your advice for young people planning to take up their first job?
Just don't let people break you down, and just know that when you're older, don't accept everything and make sure you do what's good for you.
Thank you so much.